This right here is a normal Minecraft house. And this is the world's largest Minecraft house. It's made from over 100,000 blocks, and I'm going to be building it right here. But before that, I want to build the world's tallest house. It's going to go from bedrock all the way to sky limit, and it's going to have 96 floors. And I'm going to build it right here because this is a chunk that I've mined all the way down to the bottom. I'll also get rid of this glass because it doesn't really need to be here. And because it's going to be so massive, I'm going to need 5,000 planks and 2,000 logs, which means it's time to boot up the tree farm and collect up loads and loads of wood. That should be long enough. It's been a few days. I am going to switch off the machine. And as you can see, in fact, I completely maxed out the storage. I need more space. And now that I have all the needed wood, I can get busy collecting every single other item. I'm going to begin by plugging up this problematic lava. Also very nice. There's diamonds in the wall too. And next, I'm going to fill in the entire floor with trap doors. Apparently, the record for the world's tallest house is 382 blocks. And all it is just a house with a really, really tall chimney, which in my opinion is just a bit lazy. But if I use trapdoors as the floor, I can make it so that the bottom of the house is as low as possible. And if I build it all the way up to sky limit, it'll be 384 blocks tall. I'll add another couple of stairs here, and I'm going to make the inside out of iron trapdoors so that you don't accidentally open it and fall down. Next, I can start adding the details so it actually looks a bit more like a house with windows and paintings on the walls because the rules state that the house must be furnished with paintings and beds, etc. From there, I can add a bit of a ceiling, build up another room, and this one is going to be a nice little bedroom. On the front, I'd also like to add a couple of fences with a bell and a hanging sign. Doesn't sign ink just look amazing? And then this house is not going to have just one bedroom. Oh no. Instead, it's going to have a grand total of 96. Yep, these are just going to keep going all the way up to sky limit. So I'm going to get busy and get to work building so that I can break this record. And once I finish this roof, that is the world record for the world's tallest house in Minecraft. And my goodness me, it is massive. And you can barely even see the top of the ladder. It just goes so far. And with that checked off the list, we can now begin phase 2, which is to build the world's largest house. And as I said earlier, such a project will require over 100,000 blocks. So gathering all of those is going to be a fun project. And the house itself is going to go right here and cover this entire area. So my plan is quite simple. I just need to fill in this entire area with grass blocks and then terraform it a bit to make it look nice and natural. And also, guys, have you heard of the brand new secret YouTube feature? Well, I'm going to show you what it is. I can't say the name of it, but look at the button below the video beginning with S. And if I say the word subscribe, it should get a rainbow effect around it. This only happens for people who are not already subscribed to the channel. And once you see the rainbow effect, if you actually go and press the subscribe button, you'll get fireworks. So yeah, you should totally press it and test it out because it's very, very cool. And whilst you do that, I should probably get busy placing down every single grass block. And that should do it. A massive area ready to be filled. And an item that I'm going to need to build the world's largest house is 100 stacks of dark oak logs. And right now, guys, I have one. Yeah, we're going to need to build a farm for this because these two farms can get you a lot of different types of trees, but dark oak is not one of them due to the fact you need 4 saplings per tree. And considering I only have 30 of these in stock, I'm going to grab a hoe, fly to a roofed forest, and mine the leaves to collect up saplings. An extra stack should hopefully be enough. And now to gather up all of the other items for this farm. 100 days with a cold is the best. And I now have every single item except for one thing. Ancient debris. I need a single piece of ancient debris to build this machine. As you can see in my treasure shulker box, I don't have any. I decided to smelt it all to netherite scrap. So instead, I'm going to be doing a little bit of digging in the nether. I'll just mine down right here, starting right here. It might have actually been a good idea for me to bring some TNT. Hey, look, we've connected to one of my tunnels. But yeah, bringing TNT definitely would have sped this up. But I've successfully found some. In fact, I found 2 pieces, which means I now have every single needed item, and I can begin building this farm right here, because it makes sense that it would be next to all the other tree farms. So I've got a water chute here that will connect to this, and it'll push items upwards. And we're also going to have a little platform here, which is going to be where all the items collect to. And that will include dark oak logs, sticks, and saplings. I'll need 24 blockers for the filters, as well as some saplings, logs, sticks, and apples. This farm is going to get apples too, even though we have plenty of them. We might as well still collect them up. This right here is where the trees are going to go, and the chests are going to be filled with bone meal, both on this side and this side as well. These 4 pieces of dirt are where the saplings are going to be planted, and this right here is going to be the on and off switch. Right now I'm building an area that is going to be filled with water. This bit is also done, but I'm a bit short on hopper minecarts. I only brought 2 and I need a few more, so I'll grab some from this chest and craft a few extra ones as well. This is going to collect up the logs and the saplings. It's going to go into the various hopper minecarts, and now I just need to build up the last few bits. And after placing down 2 TNT, the machine is done. I can drop off all of these spare items and put the farm to work. I'll add a minecart here. Then I'm going to fill up my inventory with pork chops so that I only pick up dark oak saplings. We turn the machine on. Oh wait, I forgot to put on bone meal in. Hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. Can't believe I forgot to do the most important thing. So let's get plenty of bones and start filling the chests. And that is every single thing filled with bone meal that needs to be, which means we're definitely now ready to give it a test run. And it's not working. You know why? Turns out you have to build this farm facing in a certain direction, and I did not do that. So I'm first going to remove all of the bone meal and rebuild the entire thing. And once again, it is complete. And I can start refilling it all with bone meal. There we go. And now when I flick this lever and jump into the minecart, the machine, the trees grow. So you can see, I just built it in the wrong direction before. And then as I fall down, the entire tree gets blown up. And the explosions cause saplings to drop, and they get fed to me whilst I'm in here. In that short space of time, we've already got loads of logs, because they're going into this chest and this chest as well, plus plenty of sticks and apples. In total, the farm gets me about 21,000 logs per hour, and I need 6,400, so I'm just going to keep using the machine. Plenty of time has passed, and just look at all the wood that we now have. And with that successfully checked off the list, I can begin the next phase, which is to get grey concrete powder. Now, at the moment, I do already have a concrete farm, but there's a problem with it. And that problem is that all of the powder automatically gets turned into concrete. And that's because the concrete appears here, and because it's waterlogged, it instantly converts. But if I remove all of the water, it should work fine. Now, I'm also going to remove the TNT. So now powder will come through, it will drop onto the mud, turn into items, go into the storage, and then at the very end, it'll be collected into these chests through the hoppers. Well, that's the theory anyway. So I shall head to the end, set up the concrete factory, and flick this lever. In theory, that should be it, and the farm should start working. I've let this run for a couple of minutes. I just want to double check that everything's working fine. Well, yeah, it looks like we have a slight problem. Turns out I forgot about the water down here that would make it turn to concrete anyway. But that's why we test these things out. There's no harm done. And instead, I think it's better if I just manually collect up the items on the other side. And now to do the same with light grey concrete. That's every single one that I need. I'll make sure to put all of the water back and waterlog these leaves again as well. Now, next on the list of things that I need a lot of is terracotta. I need 5,000 of it, and there's 2 ways to get it, really. I could either trade over and over again with villagers, or I could build a clay farm. And I bet you guys can guess which one I'm going to go for. Yes, I'm going to build a farm that converts dirt to mud and then to clay. The main building block that I'll use for this is yellow concrete. And it also requires 10.5 stacks of pointed dripstone. I don't know if I have that. Nope, I don't. However, I did build a pointed dripstone farm a long time ago at the monument. Is it still there? I have no idea. But there's only one way to find out. Okay, it looks like the answer is yes. And does that mean it's been working whenever I've been here? Oh, look at this. It's been gathering me up dripstone nicely. And when I combine that with all the pointed dripstone in this chest, it means I've got all of it. And there is a load of other items that I require, so I'll get busy gathering them all up. And once I craft this hopper minecart, I'll have every item that I need. And just before starting the build, I'm going to take a moment to repair my pickaxe. And I reckon I should build this farm next to all these other ones here. It's becoming like the farming district, isn't it? Yeah, let's begin in this spot. Now, first things first, I'm going to dig a little hole right here because this is where the chest storage is going to be. And it's the only part of this farm that is underground. There we go. I'll offload the items into the storage. And speaking of storage, I can build this one right here. Now to load up the item filters and continue building everything up. This right here is where the TNT is going to blow up the clay, and then the water will push it all down to this hole in the middle. As for this concrete platform, it is going to be filled with dripstone underneath. And you can probably start to see now that a bit of a conveyor system is being created. And the premise of this farm is that if you place a piece of mud above a block with dripstone underneath, I know this isn't mud, but just imagine it is, it will then, over time, have a chance to turn into clay. So by adding lots of dripstone, it can have lots and lots of chances to turn into clay. And that's where it eventually all converges over here where the TNT will blast it up. I just need to add a few more dripstone underneath this platform, and then the piston system that pushes it all downwards. Up here is the mechanism that will keep dropping the TNT. The final thing that I have to add is the TNT down here. I like to get all the redstone done before anything else, otherwise it might all blow up. And what will happen is the player will stand here and keep placing down dirt, but we need the system that dispenses the dirt, which is all these hoppers and chests. I'm actually going to add a few more on top. And because the dirt is going to be converted to mud, we're going to need glass bottles in this system as well. So I'll grab a bunch of glass so that I can easily craft those. And then I need some other random items to create item filters, but they need to be two different ones. If I wanted to be extra safe, I would rename these items that I'm using as filters. But instead, I'm not going to bother and just live on the edge. There we go. That is that all done. And with that done, I put them in there. And all I'm missing is the dirt to convert into clay. This chest has quite a few pieces that I can load up. But 3 shulker boxes isn't quite enough. Which is why it's a good job that over at spawn, I have a dirt farm. Yes, why would you ever want to build a dirt farm? Well, what if you want to build a clay farm that uses dirt? Finally, this farm's getting the credit it deserves. So, yeah, as you can see, we've got loads of dirt in here. And so now I can load up these chests. And so now to start the farm, I simply stand here. And then I go ahead, place it down. And it gives me another dirt, as you can see. So all I can do is I can hold down... Ooh, well, not like that. It's better if I'm somewhere like this. As you can see, I can hold down right click and just keep placing down the dirt. And it's constantly getting turned into mud. And when an entire row gets filled up, all the pistons extend. And you can see already, because of the dripstone underneath, it is being converted into clay. It's drying it out. And what will eventually happen is it'll keep spreading, it'll keep being added, it'll go all the way around until eventually it ends up here where the TNT will blow it up and it will get collected into this sorting system. So it gets about 3,500 clay blocks per hour, which means I need to use this farm for about an hour and a half. And I reckon that should be long enough. Let that final explosion happen. And then let's have a look in these chests. Yep, as you can see, we have got loads and loads and loads of clay. And I managed to get quite a bit of mud from it too, that's good. So I'll grab a few shulker boxes to transport it all. And they do also need to first be compacted into blocks. It's times like this that I can't wait for the auto crafter to be added. That is mission accomplished. Next, I can take all of these items and add them to the super smelter. Then all of the terracotta that gets produced will be dispensed down here, travel all the way along this water stream, and then go into the auto storage, where it will then filter into the terracotta chest. It's a great little system because whilst that's all smelting, I can focus on getting the 22,000 oak logs that I need for this project. And it turns out that if you use Azalea, the farm produces an extra 2,000 logs per hour. So that's definitely worth it in my books. According to my calculations, we should have enough. And as you can see, we've got loads of logs. And I've nearly run out of bone meal. So I'll get it all restocked. And then I'll use the farm to get a load of spruce and jungle. Mission accomplished. As you can see, we've got loads of it all. So I'll load up these shulker boxes and transport it home. As I've said earlier, the project I'm going to do requires over 100,000 blocks. And I now have every single one of those in my chest room. So I'm going to go ahead and start organizing all the items into shulker boxes and then put them into this chest. This is without a doubt the biggest build that I've ever done. And I'm very excited to get it built. And once I craft this trapped chest, I'll have almost every single item that I need. As you can see, I've got them all laid out in this chest. However, I am still missing these 6 items. And I need the stripped versions of a lot of the logs. But I'll make a machine to strip them. But first, let's get these other 6 blocks. And to begin with, I'm going to fly over to a jungle. And then from there, I can harvest a load of leaves. And that is more than enough of the leaves that I need. Plus there's a load on the ground that I still need to grab as well. Now the next item on the list is the brown mushroom block. With an axe, you can insta-mine it, but I need to be using a tool with Silk Touch to actually pick it up. And after mining them all up in this biome, I have a grand total of 174. However, I need 459 in total, so it's back to the drawing board. And this time, I'm going to grab some emeralds and a couple of books. Then I'll buy an Unbreaking and Silk Touch book, add them to an axe. Try not to die as well. And then I'll start bone mealing and mining mushroom blocks extremely quickly. Oh man, I just remembered something. First of all, I have mushroom chests with loads of blocks in them. And secondly, all the way down here, I have a mushroom farm. I can't believe that I didn't remember this. Alright, let's get back to collecting the items that I didn't have in my storage. And next, it is torch flowers. I need 3 of them, and I need these guys to sploot them up for me. Just like that. Then, I can plant them, grow them, and harvest them. Tell you what, these guys are useless to get me seeds. Come on, hurry up. Finally. And it's a pitcher pod. Come on. Come on, don't let me down. Yes! You, sir, are a legend. Let's harvest this, grow another one, and I don't know, plant a stupid pitcher pod for no reason. And now the next thing on the menu is shroom lights. Very easy to get, and they make a satisfying sound each time you mine them. I only needed 24, but I've got a bit carried away and ended up with 60. And the final 2 things are light grey and white wool, both of which I have right here. There we go. And for all the stripped logs that I need, I could manually place them, strip them, and mine them. But that would take forever. So instead, I'm going to build a machine that does it for me. SP building a machine to do a task? That's unusual, isn't it? It's a pretty small and simple build, and it can convert 6,000 logs per hour. And now we have absolutely everything. And I suppose I'll build it with all the other machines that I've been creating lately. First things first, I'm going to start by building the storage. And this is going to connect to a water collection system right here. I'll just place a bucket in each of the corners. And notice how the water flows perfectly to the middle. And with that bit now out of the way, we're going to build the redstone system that will convert the logs. Also, I'm going to waterlog these with signs so that they can't freeze anymore. That is all the redstone done, and this is where all the logs that will be stripped are going to be stored. And so all that leads me to do is build a system that will detect when a block reaches this point and will dispense TNT. This step here is actually very important. I have to place the rail with the minecart on and push it onto this block using a piston. If I placed it there, then the TNT would ignite and blow up and be lost. So that's why we're doing it this way. That is the machine complete. And I now have here every single log that needs stripping. And as you can see, if I fill up this with dark oak wood, put this in the offhand and hold right click for a quick test run, you can see it just goes along, nicely strips all the logs, and then they get pushed downwards and blown up. That then leads to these chests collecting them in their stripped form. And that's all there is to it. It works perfectly. And so I'm going to completely load up the machine with the logs that I need and get busy converting everything. And that is every single one done. Yeah, it took some time, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. And unfortunately, during that, my axe did break, so I had to make some more. But thankfully, it is very, very easy for me to get it back. And I've got everything. There's nothing more that I need to collect, and I've successfully transported it all across. And before I do actually build this, I'm going to grab a load of netherrack and a load of glass. Next, I'm going to build all the way up to sky limit, where I can then build a glass platform to cover this entire build and stop snow from getting in the way. There we go, and now I can start building. Now the giant house that I am about to build is going to be modeled after this little house right here, except it's obviously going to be way, way bigger. The inside's going to be something like this, and that's it. So now let's transform that into the world's largest house, and I'm going to have secret little rooms inside of it as well. After a bit of time, I have organized this so that in this chest, it's all the ingredients for the oak logs right there. In here, we have all the cobblestone ingredients for those bits. This is the planks, and this is the inside of the log. So I just feel like I'll have a bit more space in my inventory whilst I'm building this. Whereas if I was to take every single possible item with me, I think I'd start struggling for space very, very quickly. And if I just add these down, you can probably already start to see it taking shape. Yeah, I've successfully built one log block. I've not done these two sides because you won't be able to see them, so I'm saving resources. And as you can see from this house, there is 4 logs stacked on top of each other. So I'm going to continue building it upwards until it reaches that height. And that is as high as this one needs to go because it's going to connect to the roof, which is this bit right there. And so I've successfully built one of the corner pillars. And so now I'm going to get to work and build the other 3. That's all of those done. I feel like I've spent ages placing blocks, and in reality, that's just a small fraction of the build. Although the beauty of this system is, because I know everything that I took was for these logs, when I need to build more of them, I know where the items are. Next, we're going to move on to building the cobblestone stuff, and I'm going to begin with these 4 cobblestone stairs at the front of the house. Isn't it great to have a little miniature representation as I'm building? So this right here is the staircase outline, and now I just need to build the textures upwards. And now we're at enough of a height where we need to actually make the flat bit of the staircase, so we're going to go for something like this, and then we can continue stacking the staircase up right here. And that is the stairs at the front completely done. And I have to say, it is just starting to look a bit like a house now, isn't it? Long way to go though. I think now I'm going to build the entire front of it. Then it looks like we're making progress. I've used so many blocks so far, and now you know I really wasn't joking when I said this was going to be the world's largest Minecraft house. And with that, the 2 blocks of cobblestone at the front are done, which means next I'm going to do these 2 logs. And now with the wood done, it's taking shape even more. And next I can add the cobblestone that goes on top. And once I get these blocks down right here, other than the roof, I've completely done the front. Are you ready for the big reveal? There you go. How's it looking? It's looking very flat, if you ask me. Yes, noticeably 2-dimensional, but don't worry. By the time I'm finished, it will look amazing. Just trust me. And I reckon my next main focus should be to get the other 3 outer walls all built. Then it will start to look a lot more like the house than it is supposed to. Fantastic. And that is certainly helping it to take a bit more shape. But I still do have to make it 3D, so I need the walls on the inside. And I also need the inside floor, so I'm going to get busy building that. What I've built just now are the cobblestone blocks that the doors are going to sit on top of. And next I need to grab all of the dirt because it's going to go right here. And then everywhere else is going to be oak plank floors. Now, the reason this is dirt is because it's going to have a carpet on top, just like this one in the house. And the block palette for the planks are these blocks in here, so I'm going to grab all of them. And I'm also sick of phantoms. To be honest, a lot of the time I decide not to sleep because I want the day count to move as slowly as possible because I don't want to get to 10,000 days too soon, since that is when I plan to end the series. So that's why a lot of the time I don't sleep at night. But if phantoms are going to cause me that much trouble, then I'm willing to sacrifice one night from the series. And as it happens, the texture for oak planks is a little bit less complicated than the ones for the walls, which is always good news. And I'm hoping at this point you can sort of start to see the inside taking shape. And the reason there's a gap here is because I'm going to build 3 barrels. This is all the blocks that I need for it. And so now I'm going to build up 3 barrels all stacked up together. I've done the bottom ones. Let's have a little look, see what we think. Yeah, it's definitely got a barrel look about it. And I'm placing a load of dirt down here so that I can use gravity blocks like concrete powder without them falling all the way down. There we go. That's the texture for the top of the barrel done. Oh, well, I love it. And I just need to do 1 more barrel stacked up right here. And that is the top of this one done as well. Yeah, the decorations really make all the difference. And next, I think getting the carpet down will make it look even more homely, since it's very important that this place does feel like a house. Perfect. The dirt's now covered up. And I know I've still got to get the roof on, which, you know, in due course. But the main thing that's bothering me is the lack of interior walls. I think it's so important that we get those in as soon as possible. So I'm going to grab all the needed materials and make the inside look as good as the entire rest of the build. And now things really are starting to come together. I feel like I'm actually in a house now that the inside walls are done. And something I'd say that this build is missing is windows. And before I start building this, you'll also notice that the inside of the logs look a little bit strange. And that's because a brown mushroom, when placed, looks like this. But if you place another mushroom block next to it, look what happens to the texture. It looks like that. So I need to go ahead and place mushroom blocks next to all the other ones here, so that when I go ahead and mine them all, the build will look a lot better. Right, I need to do it on all the other ones now. That's all the window ones done. And now I just need to do this one, which is part of the doorway. Also, it looks kind of weird around here because, yeah, I still haven't put the doors on. Perfect. And that's one of the windows, also now done. And it's the same for the other one. And now you're probably wondering, why did I leave a little hole right here? And the answer is that I want to make a little base inside that's inside a mouse hole. It just gives a cool little feel, because obviously I'm very tiny compared to this house. So my home could be inside the mouse hole. That's my thinking, ladies and gentlemen. Let's build it. Now I'm going to start by building the floor, which is basically just an extension of the oak plank texture. And then I'm going to start decorating the room with all kinds of nice furnishings. This right here can be a little bed. I'll add bamboo tables on that side and this side as well. And then I'll continue to build up the walls. I've also built a couple of staircases up here, and the reason for that is to have an extra level, because it wouldn't be that interesting if the secret base in the mouse hole only had one room. This upstairs room is looking pretty good to me, and it just needs the final ceiling adding on top. Perfect. The secret base inside the mouse hole is looking very, very nice. And I think it fits into the entire build very, very well. And speaking of builds, the biggest thing that is now missing, other than the roof, are the doors. So that's what I'm going to focus on next. And before I forget, I should add these torch flowers above the plant pots. These are all the needed items for the door. So I'll first build up this one right here. And with that done, I can build the second one as well. Yes, both of these doors are looking great now. And I reckon right here, we should build a bed. It's going to look just like the one in here. And I will start by building up the legs. From there, I can add in the base of the bed. And then the red duvet and the pillow as well. It's really coming together, isn't it? I think a little shelf here with a plant bottom would look nice. So I'll start building up that. And the plan is to kind of make it look like it's a spruce trapdoor, because I think it'll just go well with the main doors and the barrels too. Let's have a look. Yeah, from a distance up here, I like it, and I'm going to put some stuff on top of it, such as a couple of plant pots. And I'll also have a couple of saplings growing out of these plant pots, like so. Yeah, it's really coming together. Nice decoration up there. And as you can see in here, a great light source is a lantern. So I think I'll build one in the middle of this, so that we've got some light in here as well. I want the base of the lantern to be in the middle of the room, so I'm going to build it right here. And then slowly layer it upwards with light sources. That's the light bit of the lamp. Now to add the metal on top. And also the connecting chain. And then this chain is going to be connected to a fence post that's attached to the roof. So I'm going to start building this up. And that is that. Everything is now complete except for the roof. The roof is the final thing that needs to be added onto this. As you can see, it's just going to be a bunch of oak stairs going all the way around the edge. It's pretty much the same texture as I used for the oak planks on the floor, but this time I've got to do it in the shape of stairs, so I'm going to get to work. And that is the entire build complete. Here's the tiny version, here's a charged creeper, and here is the world's largest Minecraft house. Built from over 100,000 blocks, and with a fully furnished interior and secret room. Oh, there's another charged creeper here, there's two. Anyway, this is definitely the largest house that anyone has ever built. And click the video on your screen right now if you'd like to see how I built a farm that gets me infinite bedrock in survival. And if you'd like to download the latest version of my world, it is available right now on Patreon, linked in the description.